Welcome to the B2T show, where we empower Christian patriots with truth. This is Rick, your host. Here we are on February 11th, Tuesday night. I'm in the same hotel room, you can tell. This time I have such a great connection. I am backstage. So those of you who are backstage, come and join me back here, especially after the video. Sometimes it's a better experience on YouTube during the show because some of the audio will come better through you. But joining me before on the backstage and after the video on the backstage is a lot of fun. So join me here, especially if you wanted to talk about the episode or have any questions for me, etc. So awesome stuff. And so we got quite a few people on stage. I'm trying to adjust a couple of my backstage things. Just 1 second so I can get a few things out of the way. There we go. And I can go back and see who was Caffeine Addict was here on first. And I'll be right back in 28 minutes. I love it. That's the way he's doing it, just like you're supposed to. So where are you guys from? I see we got Montana Nomad from Montana. That makes sense. I like it. And appreciate you guys joining. We've got people from Alaska, Prosper in the house, another person from Nebraska, Alaska in the house, Sedona, Arizona, Minnesota, New Zealand, Ken all the way. I love it when you guys join up from all, I love it, all overseas stuff especially. But we have justice hitting us now. We got Jussie Smollett with 6 indictments. We got Roger Stone starting to not get his 7 to 9 years, and all of the prosecutors resigning. We have Biden just eating the dust. It looks like he's going to get 5th place in New Hampshire. We've got the flood coming of all kinds of things. How exciting is this? What a time to be alive, to be able to see all this happening. You probably saw one Q drop. It was only one Q drop. And it said, a reporter says, "Do you know who Anonymous is?" And POTUS answers that question. It doesn't sound like he says Q Anonymous. It's more like just who is anonymous. So let's see. I'm sorry.
Be surprised.
Here you go.
Do you
All right.
know who Anonymous is? I don't want to say, but you'd be surprised. Do you know who Anonymous is?
So it doesn't sound like he says Q. There's a little bit of a messy thing in there between "do you know" and who Anonymous is, but it looks like he just asked who Anonymous is, not QAnon. So I don't want to say you'll be surprised. So I'm probably talking about Anonymous versus QAnon, I would guess. But that is why Q actually put that is interesting. Why he would have actually tweeted that is kind of exciting to kind of figure out. But that is a Q drop, the only drop we got today. But we had Jussie Smollett actually getting indicted. And so, as we know from all the way back in July, it said, "Smollett, federal charges coming. Watch the news. These people are stupid. Q." And so now this is actually a Chicago prosecutor, but it just shows that we get the news way before they get the news. That's exciting. Hey, my sponsor today is this awesome collagen. And it's, and if you've been, let me look at this here real quick because it's really kind of cool how this stuff works. I mean, I took this into my chiropractor slash what I would just call an incredible health doctor, right? Who tested this on me using muscle testing and other areas and said that this stuff would be very good for me to take. I started taking it. Now my wife's stolen it from me. She's having some knee issues. So anyway, with the new, when you look at this, I think you'll find that this is pretty cool. Collagen may be the closest thing we will ever get to real fountain of youth. The older you are, in fact, the more likely it's caught your attention, and for good reason. Many health experts now agree that consuming collagen is as crucial as it gets to renew and revitalize how you look and feel. After all, collagen is the most abundant protein in your body and is essentially the glue that holds you together. In fact, after age 20, people produce about 12% less collagen in their skin each decade. For some, it's an even greater decline. This means that by the time you're middle aged, you could be producing less than half of the collagen you did in your youth. Even worse, various lifestyle factors you may have even been exposed to, like poor diet, smoking, pollution, stress, and excess sun exposure can deplete your collagen levels even faster. In short, In short, this year, and by year escalation, loss of collagen is a key reason people look old. As they get older, it explains why over time your skin sags, your hair gets thinner, your nails lose their strength, joints become stiff, recovery from activity and exercise slows, digestion-related complaints seem to come out of nowhere. In general, our bodies seem to turn on us. The benefits of collagen makes your skin healthy and supple. With a youthful look, makes your hair healthy and looking great, supports joint flexibility, strengthens your nails, teeth, and gums, promotes strong, healthy muscles and tendons and ligaments, promotes stronger bones, supports digestive health, and promotes healthy appetite management. So again, go here and check healthwithrick.com. You're going to want to go to healthwithrick.com. You can see Dr. Robert Matthews right there. So let's get into a lot of breaking news here. This is Tracy Beans. I love it. She goes, just today we had 1, a ridiculous sentencing memo in the Stone case filed and then publicly condemned and resubmitted. Number 2, all 4 prosecutors resign in the case. We'll show you that in a minute. Number 3, Jussie Liu, of the former U.S. Attorney for D.C., who was moving to a different position, removed from consideration. That was by Trump, by the way. And she continues here. Number 4, a presser where the FBI confirmed an open and ongoing investigation into Ukraine. 5, Barr suing sanctuary cities. 6, a 6-count indictment against Jussie Smollett. Number 7, Biden leaving New Hampshire early because he sucked so bad. Number 8, Bloomberg fall from his very low height enhancer with a hit on comments he made about stop and frisk from his own party. This is really interesting to see what we'll end up finding here, but it's like, woo, that's a big one. And then revelation that James Clapper leaked the dossier, salacious allegations, etc. to CNN. Am I missing anything? So that is Tracy continuing to go on about all the fun stuff that's going on. So this is why it's justice time. We're actually seeing it, guys. I really think that this is, one of the most exciting times for me personally to actually be getting into this. It's like, whoa. Let me make sure I can see you guys on chat here a little better. There we go. Now, if we go to the next thing we look at here, we have 3849. You go back there. It just said justice on February 9th, just 2 days ago. It said justice. And then you look at Camp Justice. Where's Camp Justice? Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. It says Camp Justice is a name given to the portion of the Guantanamo Bay Naval Base where the Guantanamo military commissions are held. It was named by, Sergeant Neil Felver of the 122nd Civil Engineering Squadron in a name the camp contest, in the name of a camp contest. Initially, the complex was to be a permanent facility costing over $100 million. The United States Congress overruled the British presidency plans. Now the camp will be a portable temporary facility costing approximately $10 million. But anyway, the whole fact we have Camp Justice right in Guantanamo Bay there. So go back to Tracy Beans. She said she had breaking news. Let's see what Tracy had on breaking news there. Somebody says on the so we had all this. We've got an addition. This was an addition she did an hour ago. And it says Robert O'Brien says the NSC will be down between 115 to 120 staffers by the end of this week, right? We saw this yesterday. But now he's even taken it down further. So they walked out 70 people. Tracy's going on 12. Andrew Yang and his gang out. I heard also that Tom Steyer's out as well. So lots going on today. Patriot Hour. Awesome video, somebody saying. So look at this. It's like, woo, we got all kinds of fun stuff going on here. Let's look at Jussie Smollett, indicted on 6 counts for allegedly lying to police about attack claims. So this is a pretty detailed article, but this is interesting. He has been indicted by a grand jury on 6 counts of disorderly conduct for allegedly lying to police about his claims of a racist and homophobic attack against him in January 2019. A special prosecutor said Tuesday. Special prosecutor Dan Webb issued a statement announcing the indictment against the 37-year-old former Empire star. The actor is due in court on February 24th. So that is interesting. So obviously we saw the other Fox, right, get her off, and but this is what you call justice, is when some of this stuff happens. And so just 2 days ago, Q posting justice. I bet you this is what he was talking about. Of course, I think he could have been extrapolating to everything, because there's a ton going on right now. Here's Donald Trump Jr. He retweets this. It says, "It looks like they finally indicted the guy who attacked Jussie." It was himself. Justice for Jussie, he puts in there. So that is pretty funny. That actor Jussie Smollett indicted by special prosecutor in Chicago. And let's see what this little video says. I haven't watched this yet. I'll watch it with you guys.
That they are. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's not go there yet. Let's I was talking to a friend, and I said, I just want them to find them. And she said, sweetie, they're not gonna find them. And that just made me so angry, because so I'm just gonna be left here with this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just gonna be left here with like, so they get to go free.
Wow, there he is, just lying through his teeth. This is what I was telling some other blue pillars in my family, is that here you see that it's Hollywood creating the division and the media creating the division, not Trump. Right? Very clearly, and the Great Awakening is happening right before our eyes. I love it. Brian Cates was talking about this related to. He goes, wait, what? Trump got Lou to step down as U.S. Attorney for D.C. by nominating her to a top Treasury Department job, and then appointed Timothy O'Shea to be the new U.S. Attorney for D.C., and then he withdrew Lou's nomination the same day. All these prosecutors are quitting. Breaking news, right as all 4 Mueller prosecutors are resigning due to this fiasco with the Roger Stone case, Trump withdraw Lou's nomination to the Treasury Department job. Scoop: Trump suddenly pulls former U.S. Attorney for D.C. nomination to Treasury post. Woo! And then he keeps on going, wow! More. Per a source familiar, Lou was expecting to stay in her position as U.S. Attorney through at least her hearing, if not her confirmation, but then unexpectedly was informed by A.G. Barr was replacing her with Shea today. Trump withdrew her nomination. A real house cleaning is underway. 4 prosecutors withdraw from Roger Stone case after DOJ disputes excessive sentencing request. So tons going on right now. This is just crazy stuff. Now, hey, I wanted to go back to the Jussie Smollett here thing. This is a long thing from Netflix. I'll probably get in big trouble for playing, but this is worth the 4 to 4.5 minutes. You guys got to listen to this. Derogatory comments, right? So just FYI, I just want to give you a little bit of warning. If you have kids or whatever and don't want to hear a couple of derogatory comments, you might want to get them out. But this is worth a watch, I think. Here we go. And the media just went crazy over this. And obviously, he doesn't put the stuff in here where you had Kamala Harris as well as Cory Booker using it to get the anti-lynching lion. Many people thinking because it was the deep state ploy to try to make it harder to hang them. So that's on those of you who follow me on Twitter. I have that on Twitter. It'll be in the show notes as well, but something that we need to get out, because this is part of the cultural wake up, I believe, is when you got really popular comedians like this actually getting on some of these. The truth of this complete fraud is something that I think is really important for us all to really tweet out and use your social media to really get the truth out, right? That's what I'm asking you to do as much as you possibly can. Here we have Praying Medic adding on, saying Jussie Lou steps down as U.S. Attorney for D.C., where the swamp will be prosecuted. Barr installs his right-hand man to take her place. Trump then withdraws Lou's name from the job she accepted with Treasury Department. If you don't think justice is coming, you're not paying attention. There you go. We have justice coming is what we have. You got to just love that. I mean, it's not very often we get to see this. And And I think it's just a beautiful time in this country. We've been waiting for this as the QAnon followers for 3 years, right? I guess a little over 2 years. I guess it's QAnon 2 October of 2017, so 2.5 years now almost. And to see it finally starting to happen is so exciting. It's like, because there's no way if Hillary had been elected that Smollett wouldn't have been able to get away with that. Not that they, obviously would have been under totally different types of circumstances, but that's just the case. So quite exciting what we're seeing here. We see only liberals would pay someone to beat him up just so he could go to jail. He's supporting Trump by employing 2 illegal immigrants. Total liberal hypocrisy. Liberals complain about division, but support Jussie, who just tried to widen it. Will the left ever live what they preach? And here's a picture of Jussie saying, "It's not my fault. I was on drugs," and has a picture of him crying and faking like he's all beat up. And what are the drugs he was on? Orange Man Bad Brand Trump derangement pills. Warming may cause idiocy. It does cause idiocity, I think is what they should have put there. Probably didn't have enough room for it. That's Ben Garrison. He does such a great job. Ben Garrison does a fantastic job on graphics, right? And then this one shows jobs created. It has a picture of Jussie Smollett, and it says 2 jobs created minus 25,000, and that's AOC, right? Which he complained about Amazon coming to her district. Here's Joanne. Soon, the public will learn that 2 failed Democratic presidential candidates, Cory Booker and Kamala Harris, both helped the now indicted race hoaxer Jussie Smollett pull off his scam to push through the anti-lynching bill. What were they so afraid of to warrant such a nefarious scheme? Isn't that just crazy to think about that? And we've known about this for a long time, guys, just because we follow Q. Right, 3544. Claire said Smollett federal charges coming. Watch the news. These people are stupid. Q. You go back to 3255, which was back in March 28th. It had a tweet by Trump. It says FBI and DOJ to review the outrageous Jussie Smollett case in Chicago. It's an embarrassment to our nation. This is exactly what Trump said. It shall be done. Q. So he told us it was going to be done back here in March. That January is when they did it. In March, it said it's going to happen. And then we found out why. And this, unfortunately, they cut off the number of this actual Q drop. But talked about Cory Booker withholding judgment on Smollett case after calling it attempted modern-day lynching. Harrison Booker applying political pressure regarding Chicago PD regarding Smollett FF case. FF is that false F I can't talk about. The F flag. What bill did the Senate recently pass regarding lynching? Who were the authors of the bill? Obviously, it was Cory Booker and basically these criminals, Kamala Harris. What FF event took place just prior to the passing of the bill? It was a Jussie Smollett fake newsing. Did the FF event involve a noose? It sure did. Did the FF event sway senators in their decision to prevent fake news attacks regarding Smollett case? Did fake news contact many senators prior to the vote seeking out pro-nay in an attempt to coerce using Smollett case as foundation for possible future smear? What is the mathematical probability of these 2 events occurring within the same time period? What is the relationship of Smollett and Booker and Harris? What Rahm Emanuel get involved? Will Rahm Emanuel get involved? Will the Chicago PD cave under pressure? These people are sick. Hashtag wake up America. Q. Perfect example of just complete criminality of taking over and weaponizing all parts of our government, which Obama did. And when we found out about the hammer that he spied on everybody, it wasn't just Trump, it wasn't just Cruz. It was everybody that was his political enemy. It was a completely fraudulent president that we had in the White House, weaponizing all parts of the government. We saw him weaponize the IRS against all the Tea Party. He weaponized even things like Christian businesses that for meat packing couldn't get FDA approval on things based upon him weaponizing the EPA. All kinds of things he weaponized. All parts of it. Obviously, we see the FBI, the DOJ, the State Department, all corrupted under Obama. All because the cabal was trying to destroy America in a 16-year plan to destroy America. Here you see 4 Roger Stone prosecutors quit case as DOJ backs down from horrible and unfair sentencing advice blasted by Trump. Lou saying God has taken all of their deception FF events and boomerang them on the left. That's exactly right. It's awesome. So this kind of goes back and just goes into the detail here. Jeremy Hubb tweeted about saying, wow, Mueller prosecutor Zelensky withdraws from the Stone case and includes his footnote about him actually quitting. But what's interesting about this is all 4 of them ended up leaving. And here's Technofog saying, significant Roger Stone developments. Great account to follow, by the way, at Techno_fog. Significant Roger Stone developments. DOJ prosecutor Jonathan Kravis has resigned as assistant U.S. attorney. And this is continues. Here's Trump saying, this is a horrible and very unfair situation. The real crimes were on the other side, as nothing happens to them. Cannot allow this miscarriage of justice. This was back in February when he was talking about this. This was February 11th, 2020 here. Prosecutors recommend up to 9 years in prison for Roger Stone. Just crazy stuff. Because if it wasn't for the fruit of the poisonous tree, which was the fake dossier, he wouldn't have ever even been questioned, right? And they're basically because he lied about a couple of meetings he was having. He gets nailed on that. So we got Jack posted about getting involved in this. You can tell who the most unreasonable people on the left are today because they are saying Roger Stone deserves 9 years in jail. You don't have to be a Trump supporter to see that is excessive. Here's Amy Kramer saying, if Roger Stone goes to jail and Brennan, Clapper, Comey, Strzok, Page are still roaming free, that is a breach of the public trust and an injustice that cannot be ignored. The blatant bias against Trump supporters is displayed for the world to see. Woo! It's like Trump just tweeted about this here, Lou saying, all were part of the Mueller hoax investigation. Exactly right. That's what this guy starts getting into. This is breaking. 4th Mueller prosecutor resigns from Roger Stone case after DOJ backs down from the excessive sentencing. I like how this one words it a lot more forceful. First, Aaron Zelensky abruptly resigned. Then Jonathan Kravis resigned, according to court documents filed in Washington federal court. Then it was reported that the 3rd Mueller prosecutor, Adam Jett, announced he will withdraw from the Roger Stone case. Now this, the 4th and final prosecutor on Roger Stone case is out. Federal prosecutors on Monday recommended Trump confident Roger Stone serve 7 to 9 years. He's already 67, by the way, right? This would basically be a life sentence in many ways, most likely, in prison for process crimes during the Mueller witch hunt. Roger Stone is a non-violent 67-year-old man who was caught up in Weissman's, and it's got a stripe through on it, Mueller's abusive witch hunt. A rare move. In a rare move, the Department of Justice backed down from its abusive sentencing recommendation for Roger Stone. All 4 prosecutors signed Roger Stone's sentencing memo, seeking an excessive prison term of 7 to 9 years. And all 4 are now off the case. Guys, these are huge things. These all happened today. The Jussie Smollett thing, this happened today. All these different things happening, showing you that justice is finally coming. Justice is coming. Justice is here. We're seeing it right before our eyes. How exciting is this? And so this continues on for quite some time. But you'll see it in the show notes. You can always go to blessedtoteach.com to get my show notes. Obviously, if you give me your email, I'll send these right to you after they're done. Again, that would be blessed with the number 2 teach.com is where you want to go to get all the show notes. And we got a lot to show you today, that is for sure. Here is breaking exclusive. Deep State brings in big guns. U.S. Attorney to defy request for evidentiary hearing on previously hidden Peter Strzok and Lisa Page emails on Seth Rich. Guys, this is something that wasn't even mentioned by Tracy Beans. This is like huge things all starting to happen now. This is all going to start coming out into the public consciousness. Just seeing the comedy of this Jussie Smollett thing going viral now. You just see item after item after item starting to turn to be what Q told us was going to happen. It's finally starting to happen. I guess they had to wait until the Mueller investigation, wait until the fake impeachment hoax was over, and now they're turning the screws down. Pain is happening. After getting caught lying to the courts and claiming there were no documents related to Seth Rich emails between FBI deep state lovers Peter Strzok and Lisa Page were uncovered with the title Seth Rich. Next, the FBI claimed the Strzok Page emails were redacted to protect the investigation they claim never happened. Now the deep state DOJ is bringing in the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of New York to argue against an evidentiary hearing on the matter. Whew! Big stuff happening on this 11th day of February. One we can remember. Here's Republican Jim Jordan saying, President Trump's budget, he's got the budget out, sets the right priorities. It funds the wall, supports our military, it cuts wasteful foreign aid. This is huge cuts in foreign aid he's looking at, because that's where all this waste is happening. That just turns out going back to the deep state. Enacts work requirements for welfare recipients. Most importantly, it sets us on a path to a balanced budget. Obviously, with all these tariffs, and then when we get all the money out of the Fed, I think this prophecy that Kim Clement talks about holding up a stone, and it's a way to eliminate the debt. Be real interesting to see what that ends up being. Here we are on Jason Miller tweet. Basically, this is another big piece of news. Look at this. Exclusive. At Rudy Giuliani says whistleblower among Obama NSC officials who asked Ukrainian operators for Trump campaign dirt. So this is that Eric C. guy where they won't let you say the name, because basically the tech gods that are criminally based, as well as all the news media have come down hard on anybody who basically said this fake whistleblower's name, Eric C. Right? And Eric C. is among the officials who asked Ukraine operations for Trump campaign dirt. They were doing exactly what they accused Trump of doing. That's what projection is. It's a very definition of projection. So it'll be real interesting to see how bold this place, if it actually brings his name up or not. Exclusive. Julian says whistleblower among Obama NSC officials who asked for Ukraine operators for Trump dirt. Here it is. Rudy Giuliani it's the first episode War Room 2020 with the explosive reports. 3 Ukrainian officials were allegedly approached by Obama-era National Security Council officials, one of whom may be the whistleblower, soliciting information on the Trump campaign during a White House meeting in January 2016. So we've heard about this, but it's now in official news coming out all over the place. Here's Lou. I've sensed that Steve Bannon is part of the Q team. This is just another piece of evidence that leads me to believe he is. So you remember here we have this November 23rd, 2019. It says it's going to be biblical. I think we've had this several times. The Great Awakening. He plays a video on this, right? But here is Lou's cut of this video on Steve Bannon. This is Lou, the moderator. Lou Q17. Let's listen to what he cut here.
Here's the problem, I think, is in China. In China, this is a biblical.
It's going to be biblical. Again, November 23rd, 2019, a drop from QAnon.
This is a biblical scale. It's not that this isn't any, I'm very anti. With live news, I don't think they have their hands around it. This is a biological. If you want to see what's going on, watch the movie Chernobyl, 5 episodes. This is a biological Chernobyl. I don't think they have their hands around it, because right now, in the first now, I think 3 things have to happen. Number 1, the firewall Chinese people have full access to websites. That's not going to happen. Well, number one, I think it has to happen. Number two, President Trump has offered 3 times the CDC and others, real virus killers, virus hunters to go to there. I think the Chinese Communist Party has to accept WHO and CDC members to go. Virus hunter. Dr. Moon in Hong Kong. These are guys who know how to track down these viruses. Number three, I think medical personnel. You see the collapse of the public health system in Wuhan. Remember, this is a city the size of New York. And right now, it's totally under quarantine. They're going door to door and see who has this. See, that's the only thing I think.
There you go. You've got... it's going to be biblical. Thanks, Lou, for doing your great work there. And he's growing quite a bit on Twitter. So go follow at QLou17. Again, go follow at QLou17. You'll see here, right there, you got a pro-Trump supporting where we go one, we go all person at 13,800 followers. Congratulations on such a great account. I'm sure you've probably got 7 times that number of followers, really. Somebody's saying, Rick, no sound. That's interesting because I've had sound in the past. And so let me see. Is that true, guys? Let me give me a 1 if you have sound. If you do not have sound, give me a 2. Volume, I think it was just the volume wasn't good on that. So let me make one change to this real quick. Hopefully you guys heard that. Did we hear the comedy? I did adjust it down when Gene was way loud on one time. So I go to my OBS and I can turn it up a little bit. Not much though. It was up to 95% or so. So I'm going to kind of go back to just the very first part of that because that's kind of a cool part that was pulled together. And so I'm going to go just at the very beginning of this where he says biblical. Let's listen to it.
Here's the problem, I think, is in China. In China, this is a biblical.
It's going to be biblical. So we have ones that there's sound, and most of you can hear it, and some of you can't. So it looks like good. It was just that one. So that's good news that you guys could hear the other stuff. So it sounds like that one was just lore. Now, Corey Feldman needs 24-hour security as he prepares to release film exposing Hollywood child abusers. So let's be praying for Corey Feldman. He already got stabbed in the gut once for he's doing this, but he's really being bold. Former child actor who grew up in Hollywood says that he and his wife needed to hire 24-hour armed security to protect them as Feldman prepares for the release of his Truth documentary, right? Which promises to expose the child abuse that he has been rampant in Hollywood for generations. So this goes on for quite a long time, and it's a great article. So if you have time to go dig into this whole article, that would be, again, in the blessedtoteach.com show notes, which I usually get up the next day. Here is Brad Parcell saying, big data from New Hampshire. This is the Trump rally. 52,556 tickets. 24,732 voters identified. 41% were from New Hampshire. 17% didn't vote in 2016. So 17% of the people that didn't even vote are coming to a Trump rally. And 25% of them were Democrats. 25% of these 52,000 people that came to the Trump rally were Democrats. Guys, just think about that. Thank you, New Hampshire. Data gold. If you look back to that, that means there's more people at the Trump rally that were Democrats coming to the Republican nominee's rally than all the other Democratic candidates had at all their rallies in New Hampshire. This is just shocking what we're seeing. If you look, I'm coming back to here, it says, via Pascal, there were more Dems at a single Trump rally than all the D's rallies combined. Just think about that. Democratic people coming to Trump rallies and not going to their Democratic nominees' rallies. This is going to be amazing time coming up. We began the ability, this is the NSA CSS tweet here. And in quotes it says, this is General Paul Nakasone saying, we began the ability for us to defend the presidential elections. Not today, not 6 months from now. We begin it the day after the midterm elections. So this whole voter fraud thing is, there's a whole article on it. The DOD has enduring role in election defense. So it's interesting that, just look at this. Here's an example. In 2016, most of the Orange County districts voted red, and all of a sudden 218, they all were blue. This massive, massive voter fraud happened in 2018. And I think they let it happen for part of the Great Awakening to actually be seen, I would guess, is exactly what's going on here. It's like, wow. Patriots, I made a PowerPoint covering what I think will help us explain to the masses what the heck is happening when the time comes. Download and edit as desired. It's basic in design, but loaded with sourced facts. This is really good. This is another one of these things that talks all about the Great Awakening, talks a lot about Operation Mockingbird in it. So again, it's a Google Docs here. You'll see that in the show notes, so you can load this up. I was really impressed with this. Again, I love it when people really take a shot at really showing the Great Awakening. It's talking about JFK and all that type of stuff, and a lot about the deep state and what's real and what's not real. Really good job. So you'll see those in the show notes for you. Again, something, this is my favorite place to start. This is why my course I'm developing, I start with Operation Mockingbird, and I think that this will help you get smarter on it, right? Here's Bloomberg heard in 2015 audio clip defending stop and frisk, throwing minority kids up against the wall. Wow. He was caught, Bloomberg here. I think his campaign's going to be over, because it was not just one clip. It was 3 separate clips clearly saying, we need to do less patrolling in white neighborhoods and more in minorities, is one clip. Another clip, he basically said, I want all the cops to be in minority neighborhoods because that's where all the crime is. He said all twice. It's like, this is bad news for Bloomberg. So you see Joe Biden diving. You see the whole what they're scared to death is Bernie Sanders winning the nomination. And it looks like that is a very, very, very real possibility now. And it looks like Klobuchar's up in New Hampshire, etc. It's like, wow. Here's Trump actually put this up and then deleted it after this. He said, wow, Bloomberg is a total racist. And here's one of the actual. Now, this tweet was taken down later by Trump, but it was today when Trump did this. But here's the quote from Bloomberg. It says, put the cops where the crime is, which means in minority neighborhoods. All right, and he also talked about where all the crime is and put all the cops there. So it's like, woo! Crazy that's all going on. I did forget to turn off the light and behind me, which probably makes the picture not as good, but anyway, we'll keep on rolling here. Whatever happened to Hillary campaign manager Podesta's brother? This is Trump tweeting. Wasn't he caught, forced to leave his firm with big bad things to happen? Why did nothing ever happen to him? Only to the other side? Boy, at a time like this, when this just shows you that the thing is going to be coming out by John and Tony Podesta, most likely. This would obviously be when he's talking about campaign manager Podesta, that's John, but then Tony was the one that was over the firm that was basically laundering and getting wealthy and doing all kinds of illegal things. It looks like there's a reason that the Podesta Foundation or whatever that was called was shut down. So that is going to be really interesting. Forced to leave his firm with big bad things to happen. Wow. Here's some other life hack on Akun with solid theory on the first unsealed indictment that will send shockwaves. All right, and there's I'm not going to get into this because it's a little bit long, and I want to get to a prophecy by Mark Taylor. And we'll try to get Mark here on pretty soon, but this is just real interesting to see people predicting now what is going to be the first big indictment that really sends shockwaves. Hey, wanted to talk about the other sponsor we have here. This is Noble Gold, and they do more than just gold, believe it or not. So it's kind of interesting compound. I mean, interesting thing they talk about here. It talks about. Have you ever been watching gold recently and wondered how you could get in on the action? This may come as a surprise, but you can without even buying gold. Sure, gold has rocketed recently, but hanging on to its coattails and catching up fast is silver. Yes, silver through Noble Gold. like that dog that follows its master. Silver follows gold. In fact, sometimes it even overtakes it, and it's cheaper to buy. Gold is around 80 times the price of silver right now. That's quite a discount on the dollar, but you stand to make the same kind of profit between December and January. Between December and January, silver made over 14%. Now imagine the tax relief on top if you bought silver for your IRA or 401k. Wondering who can help you with this? Noble Gold. And you can see the number right here. It's this 877 number right there. 646-5347. Noble Gold, the name has gold in it, but they offer silver, platinum, and skyrocketing palladium too. Tempted? Find out more. Call Noble Gold now and discover how you can retire safely with silver. 877-646-5347, or go to the link I have below in the YouTube video. Bunch more news, and here we got New Hampshire voters. Get it. Who are you going to vote for? Trump. We love Trump. What do you like about Trump Democratic field? This person said nothing. Listen, so they're thinking about trying to get a Democratic voter eating.
Will you vote tomorrow for the primary?
Yes, we will.
And have you made up your mind as to who you will vote for?
Yes, we will. Yeah.
Do you care to share that answer?
Sure, Trump. We love Trump.
What is he doing that you like?
Well, he does a lot for the country, I believe.
Wow.
And he
Lost
makes our 401k move. And he does a number of things that I think he does really well.
So you'll vote for President Trump
Yes.
on Tuesday. What do you like about the Democratic field? What do you see in that?
Nothing. I don't like them. You know, all they do is argue with each other, and what kind of good is that?
I don't think he was expecting that.
Will you vote tomorrow for the primary?
So it's giving me all kinds of trouble and won't let me pause it now. So I'll just have to close that. But here's Paul Sperry saying, breaking, like the Steele dossier, the Black Ledger pushed by anti-Trump Ukraine operatives was a fabrication. The Black Ledger was completely made up. Key Mueller witnesses told prosecutors and FBI agents. So everything's coming out now that's just really exposing this. Here's another theory about in order for the shot heard around the world to wake up everyone, it will need to someone no one sees coming. Q plus have been carefully circulating this person for 2+ years. The first arrest. So this thinks it's going to be George Bush. The other one was talking about it being a different group of people. Here's I think Lou, I think at least retweeted this. Do you follow Q? Please vote and retweet. And you can see this is 88% of the people, at least here on the Twitter, that responded to this. Yep, they follow Q. This one says, Obama got problems. FBI State Department partner with Kenya to launch first overseas joint terrorism task force. So here's the U.S. and Kenya working. Well, Obama, that's where he has his citizenship. So, woo, it looks like he might not have a place to run after this. Here's Sidney Powell saying, this is very important about our children. Human trafficking must be shut down now. This is an outrage. Protect our children. This is a whole YouTube video on Sex Nation, ransoming our children and our future. So it's crazy what's going out there, and thank goodness we have a president that actually cares about it now. All right, and it's nice to have it when you have somebody that actually cares. Here you have the 13th American diagnosed with coronavirus as death toll tops 1,000 in China. This is getting a little scary, guys. So just keep yourself healthy. All the stuff we've been talking about, health, is I think important thing to make sure you're getting enough of the amino acids, et cetera, et cetera. We also see here something today that came out was the coronavirus death toll tops 1,100 as China reports more than 90 new deaths. So, just keeping healthy and also making sure that you're prepared for any disaster, that you don't have to go out of the house if you don't need to, maybe for weeks. And that's why we suggest that's why we got the My Patriot Supply to do the actual, food and water that takes viruses out. So here's this Prepare with Rick website they prepared for me. So this is My Patriot Supply, very trusted supplier. I've got 2 of these huge containers now. Prepare with Rick. Again, you'll have huge discounts on this emergency food supply. So if you don't have to go to the store, you don't want to prepare when the store shelves are empty. You want to prepare it now beforehand, right? So you can get this all the way down to $87 for 2 weeks. For 4 weeks, you can get a full $100 off. Again, these are Mylar pouches that are resealable. They're up to 25-year shelf life. You get breakfast, lunch, dinners. You get more calories in the 4-week food supply. But you should at least have 6 weeks per person. Again, if there's Antifa problems, if there's this coronavirus gets big, whatever it is, just be prepared. And also to get water to cook that food with, waterwithrick.com. So it's either preparewithrick.com or waterwithrick.com. There's an air filter too. They're gonna get ready for me. This Alexa Pure Pro's got really great reviews from you guys, and it's in stock again. And again, it's a full $100 off. And this takes out viruses and bacteria. It takes out the fluoride, the chlorine, the heavy metals. You put a couple of gallons of water right here, and it filters through this filter and comes out pure in about 2 hours. You can use more. You can buy more filters to actually make it faster if you'd like. But I tell you what, this works extremely well to get rid of this virus and bacteria. So just make sure you're doing stuff to prepare. I think that'll be a big, big part of what you need to do. So if you want my show notes, just go to blessedtoteach.com, blessed with the number 2 teach.com. And you will get right here to the show notes, or you can just scroll down and join the email list, and I'll send them to you. You also have about when I go live here. This is the times I normally start live. The show notes, the blog, obviously the courses that I'm going to be rolling out here that will be launching here in March and April. And you have the backstage here for all the stuff that we talked about before and after the video, all the exclusive content we have, all the health documents and red pill documents that Gene's pulled together for us, a community site, as well as a high-speed search platform called Searchy, where you can search all the Blessed Teach shows by minute and second, and it'll bring you right there in that video. Much more powerful than YouTube. And then also, obviously, you get the Zoom platform that we can be live on. Especially if YouTube knocks me off, that's where I'm going to be live, is on the Zoom platform. Searching will also let you do, I've recorded all the Mark Taylor prophecies, so you can search just the prophecies. That'll be that and the Kim Clement prophecies. And then I'm going to be speaking, and obviously contact us is how you can send me a quick email. So if you want to send me an email and sign up for the email list, kill 2 birds with 1 stone right there by going to contact us. That's blessedtoteach.com, blessed with the number 2 teach.com. Let's move to a prophecy. This is Mark Taylor saying energy. He says in December 12th, 2016, so this was obviously right after the election, Mark Taylor put out this prophecy called energy. And we'll get Mark back on, probably not this Friday, but probably the following Friday. We'll see what his schedule looks like. The Spirit of God says, energy. I'm releasing new energy. For this new energy that I am releasing will make my America and my Israel energy independent. Wow. And we've seen that happen right before our eyes. For America and Israel will now be the top energy producers in the world. And it's just shocking to see that little tiny country of Israel. Now they found gold everywhere right off its coast. They're now exporting stuff, just like we're exporting stuff. The new energy and technology to capture it will spring forth in the depths as a volcano erupts from the depths. This is the sign that I will be given. A massive volcanic eruption will be the signal that this is the time for my America and my Israel and the end of energy corruption. And I think it was in Mount Cinnabon is what Mark fills with the fulfillment of this already, where they had trumpet flowers all around, right by when that eruption happened. OPEC, your evil regime will no longer be tolerated. You will no longer be needed, for you refuse to listen to my words and have not heeded. For when that ring of fire blows its top, it will be a sign to you that you will lose your stock, and the covenant you have with that ring will be lost. The Spirit of God says, your countries that have dominated energy for decades to move your evil agenda are charged with this guilt. Your days are numbered, and you will say, look how fast this was built. Just realize I'm not seeing you guys. I'm going to flip back over here. My America and my Israel will be one, and because of this, you will be undone. Because of your rage And the money you made from those countries you manipulated and attacked from within, you will now have to turn to those countries for help on a whim. For your wells will go dry and your finances too. For you will now be fed from the red, white, and blue. Woo! That is heavy if you look at that. That is just really heavy. Basically showing that Saudi Arabia and a lot of these countries are going to need our help as they go broke, as we become completely energy independent, become exporters of oil, and basically God's judgment comes down on the OPEC nations for basically screwing us for so many years, becoming wealthy on our backs. I was talking to my wife, who was on a plane with somebody from Saudi Arabia, and just couldn't believe that we had to pay for school. The school, college was free for them because of the massive money they get, and they had all kinds of privileges, and a lot of them didn't work hard to get all that. Proverbs 27:17 is an interesting verse. It talks about, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. And I just think this is so true. This is, I think, why God invented marriage. You have two Christians that come together, and if you're by yourself, you can just continue to kind of sin and do what you want, and right? And nobody's going to ever tell you different. You have a spouse, they're going to tell you that they don't like what you're doing, or if this is probably a really good verse for just men's and women's ministries as well. As you get together with other believers, you can sharpen each other and hold each other accountable to all kinds of things you can do to grow in Christ. Because remember, once you accept that free gift of 100% Jesus and 0% you, and you accept that, you have the Holy Spirit that comes in you. And then you have two people to get together with the Holy Spirit, and you're going to be both convicted of your own sins, but you're also going to be able to help each other. And that's what we need to do as red-pilled Christian patriots, be together. Right? One place that we have as a community is Backstage, so there's a whole community of people there. We're also really working on growing the Culture Impact System community, and these are not on Facebook, so they can't kick us off and they can't take our posts down. I had my Facebook group, as you know, and I was doing the free t-shirt contest, and they took me out for 3 months on my own Facebook group just for posting somebody else's video that they didn't like. So I've got Facebook type functionality both on Backstage on my Kajabi platform, as well as on all the training courses. After you do a training course, you'll have the free access to for a month or so, and then get into the program where you can actually be with other red-pilled Christian patriots. So you can create loneliness being out there as red-pilled people. So just want to let you know, encourage you guys that wherever we can, let's congregate, support each other, pray as a remnant. It's going to be quite exciting. Let me pray. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for us being able to see justice right before our eyes. Thank you for letting us see justice with the criminals that are out there doing and just abusing the system and trying to create division, and then accusing us and Trump of creating division when we know that's just false. Lord, thank you for exposing the criminality. Thank you for exposing the truth. Thank you for being truth. Or may we just have wisdom and knowledge that we need, as well as discernment about all the false stuff hitting us. May on this channel, may only truth prevail. If there's things that aren't true, please let us know so that we can correct them, Lord. Pray that every time before we go on the air. But Lord, I love you. Thank you for Proverbs 27:17 and give us other Christians that can sharpen each other. What a cool truth that you let us know about there. Thank you, Lord. We say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. All right, guys, there we go. Thank you so much for joining me here on the road as we just find some massive justice going on. It's a beautiful thing, isn't it? I tell you what, I was going to pull up this, but everything's in my way. There it is. Justice. We got Jussie, we got Roger Stone, we got Biden failing in the New Hampshire. We got, I think, a flood of justice coming. This is Blessed Teach Show on February 11th. God bless you guys. Love you. We'll talk to you next time.